Well, I think investors should be worried about inflation because that's really the reason why we all invest, right? If there was no inflation, we could just take our money, put it under our mattress, and we wouldn't have to worry about it. We wouldn't have to worry about picking stocks or trying to figure out what's going to preserve our purchasing power. But the fact is that the dollar does, over time, its purchasing power diminishes in terms of what it can buy in the real world of things. So I can guarantee you that what you pay to buy a movie ticket today, what you pay to buy a haircut today, is going to cost you more 10 years from now than it does today. That's almost assured. Possibility might not be, almost assured. So that's what creates the investing conundrum, is how given that, can you preserve your purchasing power in some way? And that's really the challenge of investing. Now, how can you have hyperinflation? It's a good question. And when you look at past hyperinflations, there are a lot of factors involved, but one thing that's definitely has to happen is you would have to have some massive impairment or massive destruction of the economy's ability to produce goods and services. So when you look at past hyperinflations, like in Germany, they lost a war, so the economy took a huge hit. In Zimbabwe, again, you had Marxist thugs take over, huge hit to what the economy could produce. So the analogy I would use is, think of an economy as a supermarket. There's so many goods available for sale, and there's so much money floating around pursuing the different goods for sale. So what if you just took half of the supermarket and just nuked it? Just it was gone. What would happen? Well, you would have massive inflation, right? Because you have the same amount of money that's suddenly pursuing much smaller amount of goods, and that can create a hyperinflation. It's rare that you have a hyperinflation just because people are turning the printing presses on. You have to have that also on the other side. Suddenly, what's available for sale in that currency really goes away or shrinks, and then you can have super hyperinflation. So I think the risk of a hyperinflation in the U.S. is virtually nothing. It's virtually nil, unless half the country, there's a meteor that hits half the country or something like that.